If you've ever felt like you're losing yourself while focusing on your homeschool, or you're constantly juggling expectations and feeling pulled in every direction, this is for you.
This is rivalry. We have Mom first impressions only, she says. We have Rachel's, if I don't win, someone's gonna die before we leave. And Zachary, I just wanna win.
No, see, Mom, no.
It's not fair. The game goes on.
Mom, no.
I'm Teresa Wiedrick, the certified life coach and homeschool mentor, found here on the Homeschool Mom Wellness and Mindset channel. It's so lovely to meet you. I'd love to hear more about you if you'd share about you and your homeschool in the comments below. Let's talk about how you can rediscover the whole you and create a homeschool life that feels more aligned, present, and authentic. First, let's talk about alignment. What does that even mean in this context of the homeschool life? It's about making sure your homeschool life, all the things that you do, the things that occupy your day-to-day, your activities, your resources, your choices, all of those things reflect your core values. Sometimes we get caught up in what everybody else is doing, even in the homeschool world. We are choosing the best curriculum based on what we hear other people are doing. We're choosing the routine or an approach or many hours outside. We're choosing all sorts of things because it's the latest homeschool trend. But is it what really matters for your family and for you? Ask yourself, does what I'm doing truly reflect what matters to me? Are my homeschool choices aligned with my personal values, with my family's values, with my beliefs about education, about my educational values? And remember that if something doesn't feel right, you can course correct, you can change direction. You don't have to go with the flow. This is about creating a life that fits for you and your kids, a homeschool life that feels natural and true to you. That's where real freedom lies when we're living this homeschool life, when we stop pushing and start aligning. And speaking of alignment, let's talk about you, the person behind the homeschool planner, the mom who sometimes craves having time away from the constant demands of this homeschool mom life. You are more than just a homeschool mom. You have dreams and desires and a whole identity that deserves a space to grow. One day, your kids will grow up. I know it seems hard to believe right now. I remember thinking the very same thing, but then they did. So let me ask you, when was the last time you really tuned in to what you want? What lights you up beyond your homeschool experiences? What lights you up beyond your role as mother? Maybe you used to love painting or crocheting or writing or traveling or running a business. Those passions still matter. They still matter. I know there's not as much time to devote to them as you once experienced, and that the things that you're doing are things that you love. And homeschooling, though, can feel so all-consuming that we forget about the things that matter outside of our homeschool mom role. It is important to rediscover the parts of you that aren't tied to teaching math concepts or learning opportunities or pursuing field trips or driving kids to interesting places. This season is about more than just educating or raising your kids. It's about nurturing you too. If you can reconnect with the parts of you that matter beyond your homeschool mom role, you'll feel more fulfilled. And you'll also model for your kids what it means to live a purposeful, authentic life. I also want to talk to you about presence. In our world, it's easy to get stuck chasing the idea of balance, whatever that means. But what if instead we focused on being more present? It means letting go of the pressure to have to do everything perfectly or have everything perfectly figured out or have everything tidy. It's not going to happen. You have to wait until the kids leave home. and also when you no longer have a dog. Whether it's the curriculum, the house, or our parenting, there is no such thing as perfect. It doesn't exist. And that's okay. We can be perfectly imperfect homeschool moms. Being present means we're going to look past the imperfections of our homeschool day. The messy house, the not so perfect approaches to learning certain things, or the, kid bickering in the back seat while you're trying to drive to soccer practice, or not knowing where the scissors are. And just being present for the real moments, those real, messy, beautiful moments where your memories are created for you and your kids. When we stop striving for perfection, that's when we can create some space for presence. We create more space for enjoyment and for connection and memories. I know how easy it is to allow the homeschool life to consume you. It's really, really, really easy. It's the default setting of a homeschool mom life. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and a whole lot of kids' voices. Emotional wellness requires that we set boundaries, both within ourselves and with our relationships. That means practicing to say no to external pressures of requests that other people want us to achieve or do. They want us to put certain things on our day timer, or they want us to participate in certain things. Sometimes it also means that we are putting boundaries around what we expect of our homeschool life. It's easy to create this picture of what we think this homeschool life is supposed to look like, and then tell ourselves, you're not meeting the expectations. You're not doing what everybody else is doing. You're not doing what you're doing good enough. You're not enough. You're not doing enough. And yet, if you were to analyze each of the things you're including in your life and the things that you think other people are telling you to do, and you ask yourself, does this really matter? And if you can honestly say, not really, then don't do it. You have permission to do the thing that matters. When we create boundaries, we also create more margins in our life and more fuel for our homeschool days and for every part of our life, including every relationship. It could be as simple as you telling yourself, I'm not accessing my phone after a certain time at night, or I'm putting it in the other room while I'm doing my homeschool routine. Or maybe it just means you're saying no to somebody. They keep wanting you to show up for this thing, but you really don't want to. Then don't do it. And definitely it includes putting you on your day timer, including time away just for you. When you take care of yourself, you'll have so much more energy to take care of the people in your family, and you'll be more present doing it. You'll enjoy it more, and they'll notice. Okay, so I hope today's conversation gave you permission to breathe and reflect and start rediscovering who you are beyond your homeschool routine. You need alignment, presence, authenticity, and emotional wellness. These 4 things are the foundation of creating a life that feels whole and true. If you want to dive deeper into these topics, you're welcome to join me in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective, where we support each other on an authentic, purposeful homeschool mom journey. You want your kids to live a joyful, aligned, intentional life. I want that for you too. Until next time, take care of yourself because you matter too.